Hello, hello, hello. Spending a lot of time on Instagram today. Welcome. We are here for another Fertility Hot Seat. Yes, we are another Fertility Hot Seat. Don't know what a Fertility Hot Seat is? Well, you're going to find out. So, I am Aimee Raupp. There's a lot of new followers over the last couple weeks, so welcome. This is something I do for you guys as a special bonus, a treat for following me here on Instagram, for supporting me, for letting me be a part of your health and wellness and fertility journey. So what happens here on the Fertility Hot Seat is every other Monday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, I go live like I am right now, and I choose one of you guys to join me. And when you join me, you're going to get a free 15-minute fertility consult from me, from this brain, from the author of these books behind me. So about me, and just to clarify some things, I am not a medical doctor. However, I am an acupuncturist and herbalist. I've been in practice for, it'll be 17 years in December, and have helped thousands, like literally thousands of women get and stay pregnant. A lot of them against the odds. I have written 3 books. I got them all right back here. This one pertains a lot to fertility. It's called Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. I also more recently wrote this book, Body Belief, which is all about autoimmune diseases, how to heal them. Autoimmune diseases like endometriosis and Hashimoto's and celiac. And this is my first baby, Chill Out and Get Healthy. So I pull from the knowledge from these books, from my 17 years of clinical practice, from my working with women all over the world in my online coaching programs, and through what else? I was a biology and chemistry major. I have a near completed master's in neuroscience, then went on to become an acupuncturist herbalist. I'm now actually studying functional medicine as well to add to my caliber of things. I've been working in functional medicine for quite some time and really understand the ins and outs, but I'm getting actually now a formal education that I could talk to you about. And so there's a lot of ways that I have learned to help women get and stay pregnant. So let's see. Now I'm going to see who wants to join me. So you have to request. Let's see. Have any requests come in? I'm going to give you guys a second to who wants to join me and have me help you with your fertility case. Let's see. We'll just give you, I see a couple people. I'm going to just give you another minute. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. Give you another minute. Let any other requests come in. Let's see. And let's do it. Let me see. We got, okay, so here's some requests. They went away, then they came back. Isn't that funny? Karen, let's go with you. So I'm going to pull Karen on live with me. And let's see. Oh, she declined. Okay, no stress. It is okay. So then we got, let's see, J Lev, let's pick you next. Let's see. Do you want to come on? And you're going to have to tell me your full name because I just know you as J Lev 120. Let's see. Waiting. Cha. We'll just wait. If not, then it's an opportunity for another one of you to come on in live and join me. And you share your case and I give you advice. And what happens is everybody else benefits from hearing your story and how I can best support you. So let's see. If you can't figure it out, J-Lev, you're just going to hit accept, or I think join, and it'll just bring you live with me. Let's see. All right, I'm going to give her a few more seconds. If she doesn't accept the invitation or my request to join live. Okay, she's unable to join. I wonder what's going on. Okay, so does anyone else, let me see. We have any? So we have, you want me to try again, J-Lev? I feel bad because she's still in the request. I don't want to boot her out. Or does anyone else? So we have more people rolling on. So this is my Fertility Hot Seat Live, where one of you can request to join live with me. And I'm going to ask you questions about your fertility, and I'm going to give you free fertility advice. And we set the timer for 1 minute, and then you come on. Okay. It keeps saying people are unable to join. I wonder why that is. So B. Beeman, you just requested, and now it says unable to join. J-Lab, I'm going to give you another shot. Let's see. Because you're still in the queue, and I don't want to jump over you. But I've never had this happen. Oh, here we go. All right, do you want to be here or no?
Sure. Why not? It's Monday.
It's Monday. Come on.
Right.
It's Monday. So what is your full name? Or your first name, sorry.
Jessica.
Jessica. Okay, so that's the J. Hi, Jessica. I'm Aimee.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming in. I had a feeling
you.
I should give you another shot because there was like an unable to join. I don't know.
There's something really funky. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was Instagram because then I saw like there was other people in the queue that were it all said unable to join. So I think something going on with Instagram. But then you popped off the unable to join, so I figured let's get you in. So, tell me what's going on. Tell me how I can help.
Yeah. So I am 37.
Okay.
With an AMH of 0.25.
Okay.
And an FSH that came down from 27 a year ago to 17.
All right.
After doing tons of acupuncture and taking herbs and all of that.
Okay. So it went from, say it again.
27 to 17.
Okay. And are you actively trying to get pregnant?
Yeah, and I did one IVF cycle where they got 4 mature eggs, but they didn't make it past day 5.
Okay.
Or day 4, sorry.
Okay. And then did you try naturally for a while or?
It's just been a month and a half.
Of trying naturally?
Yeah.
So since the IVF wasn't successful, you
yeah.
went back to natural conception? Okay.
Right. And then thinking about another cycle in about a month.
Okay. So it was like you decided you wanted to have a child, got your numbers tested, then they told you IVF was your best shot. Is that kind of how it went down?
So about a year and a half ago, so I got 2 years ago, I got out of a really bad marriage.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. Then about a year and a half ago, I went back to I had IVF with my first child, who's 8.
Okay.
And I went back to the same doctor, and he took a look at my numbers, and he said, even before he looked at my numbers, he said, I think that donor eggs are your only hope.
Okay.
And I was 35 at the time, and I was like, that sounds no.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
And then fast forward, and so I started doing acupuncture, and I just thought to myself, like, that can't be the case. And fast forward about a year, and I got engaged.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then we decided to start trying, and I got married in the beginning of August.
Oh, okay. Okay. So,
yeah.
So newlyweds. Okay. Good.
Right. In a very COVID-friendly wedding.
Yay. Okay.
And so here we are.
Okay. And so tell me about, like, you know, you're obviously following me on Instagram. So have you been following some of the recommendations I make? Like, what are you doing diet-wise, supplement-wise?
So I take like 90,000 supplements. I think probably like everyone else.
Me too.
Like vitamin D. My vitamin D levels were very low. So I've been taking high dose vitamin D.
Okay.
CoQ10, DHEA. I recently started.
How much?
75 milligrams.
Just once a day. Yeah.
Once a day.
That's
okay. I take this supplement called Ova Health, which is like a very high
Ovasitol. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I take prenatal, omega-3.
And the prenatal has methylfolate, not folic acid, right? You
right.
All that. Okay.
Oh, and I also take methylfolate. Yeah.
Okay.
A separate methylfolate.
Do you have the MTHFR? Do you know that or not?
No.
Okay. That's okay. And how much methylfolate? So I don't want you taking too much. You don't need too much.
I have to check. I don't remember. Omega-3, NAD plus, and myo-inositol is on the cocktail list for my doctor.
Okay. Yeah, NAD. The Elysium makes a nice one. You can get on their subscription, their subscribe and save. NAD plus, and then what was the other one? And myo-inositol.
Myo-inositol, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those all sound good. And then you said fish oil. How much fish oil?
I'd have to check.
I would recommend like at least 2 to 3 grams a day, just so you know. So that's 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams.
Okay.
Your vitamin D. And then what are your cycles doing? Are they coming regularly?
They were until like almost you could clock them at 28 days until I did the IVF.
Yeah.
And then my last cycle was like 6 weeks, even post IVF. So that was like my first cycle after.
Okay. And when you know, your periods, when they're coming on their own outside of IVF, are you ovulating that you see? Are you seeing cervical mucus or having an increased sex drive? Anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much blood are you bleeding during your cycles?
I'd say the first day and a half are not like super heavy.
Okay.
And then it starts to tail off from there. And that was when I was doing acupuncture more regularly. The clinics here have just started to reopen. But when I stopped doing acupuncture, I would have like 2 days where I was bleeding, and then the third day, nothing, and then it would pick back up again.
Yeah, so some stagnation. Okay. And then have you done any castor oil packs? Do you know what those are? No,
I haven't done this.
You can, after we hang up, DM me and we'll give you the link to my castor oil video, but you do those in the follicular phase to just help with healthy blood flow and circulation.
Okay.
And then diet wise, are you eating good amounts of protein and vegetables and fat? Are you trying to do organic and all that?
Great. Yeah, okay. I'm not great about the protein, but I've started.
Okay. Yeah, I would say try to increase the protein. And then also I would just, you know, say it's curious too about stress levels, like leading up to probably the divorce and all of these things that FSH is likely to just go wonky when you're under duress, you know, and that ovulation happens when the body feels safe, you know, so to think about that too of like, is there some, you know, I don't want to be cliche and say like trauma healing that needs to go on or anything like that, but something around that stuff of like reminding your body on a regular basis that you're safe now and that this is a safe relationship. And, you know, that like almost like to the eggs, like you can come back out now. Do you know what I mean? Like we can do this again. This is a safe space now. And I'm ready to grow my family with this person. And I feel safe and I feel taken care of and nurtured. And, you know, just that kind of, and like you getting back to you taking care of you versus if it was a bad relationship, there might have just been survival mode for a bit. Do you know what I mean? And so fertility doesn't get prioritized by the body. It just won't. Not to say that obviously there's women in situations that get pregnant that aren't ideal or sustainable for life, but generally speaking, you know, that long of a stressful situation will just compromise. It's just basically like the body has 2 different pathways to choose. It's like reproduction or survival, you know? And so it just sounds like you could be in reproduction, you know, I mean, in survival mode versus reproduction mode. So just kind of mentally shifting that to reminding yourself of that. Can FSH be high in a day of blood work if you were stressed that morning? Potentially. And then that's the other thing too of like the FSH. So it's gone down, which is great. And it was always tested on day 2 or 3 of your cycle, correct? So, okay.
That's right.
And so yeah, I mean, I would focus too on, you know, obviously you can get back to acupuncture. That would be great. And then think about you building that blood, you know, like, so that's kind of the focus too. The blood is what nourishes the follicles, which then creates the healthy ripe follicles. And then the ripe ones are usually the best candidates for becoming babies. And they create the, you know, the right, everything is just right. And then the luteinizing hormone is where it needs to be and progesterone kicks in. And we can tell a lot from the menstrual cycle because it tells me like how thick that lining got, how healthy that blood is. So you want to see a good quality flow for, you know, at least 2 days, like a medium to heavy-ish flow, you know, where you're changing, you know, hopefully using pads over tampons, but a super couple times a day, you know, for like 1 or 2 days. And it's like a fresh color blood, you know, like a paper cut type of thing. And And so to think about that, work on that piece too. And that's where the protein and the fat will really help. So to, focus on that in your diet. And I would also, leafy green vegetables too. And I just want to make sure you're not taking too much, like I said, methylfolate. The DHEA is fine right now for that 75 milligrams, but I don't like to go that high unless I know for certain DHEA is low. So you can ask your doctor to test it. And if it is low on that spectrum, I think it's usually like a 200 to 700 range or something like that. If it's low, then you're probably okay with that 75 for like a couple months. But ideally, I don't usually go over like 10 to 25 if I recommend it a day. It's a high dose, and it can overstimulate the ovaries. So I tend to like to see a lab result and then go on that. Okay. It does help with folliculogenesis, so it kind of wakes things up, but it's like microwaving versus slow cooking. You don't want to go in and like burn things out. You know what I mean? You just kind of want to nudge it along. So think about it like that, of like, maybe you just go down to 25 a day and call it a day there. The NAD plus and then myoinositol, all great stuff. And your thyroid's been checked?
It's on the lower end of normal.
Okay. Meaning under a 1, or you mean like hypo or hyper?
Hypo.
Okay. So yeah. Go ahead. Do you remember what the number was?
I don't remember what the number was, but I went to an endocrinologist who said it's just kind of sluggish, but it's totally fine.
Okay. So all I would say is look at that number. You want it between a 1 and a 2, max a 2.5. If it's higher than that, I would push to get support, like from an endocrinologist or a reproductive endocrinologist, because the REs are the first to know that fertility just isn't typically sustainable over a 2.5, and it will help things, so you want to just nudge that along. And that's the other thing too. If the thyroid starts to just, it's just been a little beat down, then same thing. It's just not prioritizing fertility, so to think about like that. And vitamin D, super duper duper important in hormone synthesis. So it's like top of the chain. I would also think about getting some choline rich food in your diet, like make sure you're eating eggs with the yolks, and how I recommend the liver pills, like big fan of liver for the choline. And then even I do this thing with sunflower lecithin. I add like a scoop of that to my coffee drink every morning, so it's just extra choline, and the choline is what makes that egg just like gorgeous and ripe. It's a bright yellow color. So to think about that. And then I would just say too, try not to stay too, and I know this is easy to say, too attached to the numbers, more to say, get attached to the improvement that you've seen. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've almost cut my FSH in half with just acupuncture, and how improvable it is. And also, to get for mature from an IVF is actually a really great response. I know they didn't make it to blast, but it's a great response. So to think about, like, just try to get the momentum where you can, of like, they were able to get 4 out of me. And then I would also focus a little bit on sperm health, or a lot of it, whatever works in your household. But I have a good video on what to do for sperm health. I would just go and watch that and then try to implement things. But fish oil, the liver pills, like spirulina, I love that for men. Okay. And then someone's asking about how much D. I wasn't taking my vitamin D with food for a year. It only increased from 27 to 36. Yeah, so you need to take vitamin D with a fat in your system. That's the best way for it to be absorbed. And you want vitamin D between a 50 and a 70. And so it depends on how low you are, then you take a dose based on that. Let's see. So sperm health. And then get back to your acupuncturist and also see if they'll do some herbs with you. That's the other thing I would think about if you're open to it.
Yeah, no, I am. I've been taking herbs for like 8 or 9 months.
Okay. And then what questions do you have for me? Or am I addressing things? But yeah.
I guess, I think that the first, so I left my first doctor who told me donor eggs only. Yeah. Because he kind of said something like, if you really want to try a cycle just to make yourself feel better, that's fine. But, we're only doing it to make yourself feel better. So I was like, well, that's not going to work.
No.
Because like you're not going to be all in, and then I'm not going to be all in. So I went to a different doctor.
Good.
Who's more optimistic. You know, like obviously they won't promise anything, but he's adding growth hormone into my protocol.
Okay.
And estrogen priming. And
good.
What can I do to get more ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not watching that free video series I have going on right now, the 7 ways to improve the quality of your eggs. Okay, good. So I would incorporate all those 7 ways for certain. And then, you know, I think too, something that I notice a lot of women miss, like I think 2 big things a lot of women miss is getting enough protein in every day. So like legitimately 80 grams of protein a day. It's not super easy to do, but you can do it. You just got to focus, you know, and then just get in your pattern. And then the 6 to 8 servings of vegetables, more cooked than raw. And the veggies are so important, especially those leafy greens, because they really help detoxify your body is basically what they do. And then if you did have the MTHFR mutation, like they just help your body methylate. And when things aren't methylating, you're basically oxidizing and aging on the inside, you know what I mean? And then when you add in the fertility meds, your body just kind of can't process it, you know, and so you might not absorb them as efficiently. So that's how I would think about it. And I'd also just go and I'd increase the fish oil, make sure you're up to like 2 to 3 grams a day for reducing inflammation. You know, the supplements, the castor oil packs, the acupuncture, but also like that mindset piece. Like I just think I have this meditation. It's You Are Safe. I made it a while ago, but we have like a free link to it. Just message us again too, and I'll send it to you. But I feel like that's the piece too of like, is there almost a bit of the story of like, oh, I was in this wrong marriage, and now I'm finally in the right marriage, and now I'm gonna have fertility. Like now I can't have a baby. You know what I mean? Like this thing of like, this is going to be taken from me, and now I'm finally happy. So just that thing of like, this can all work out for me. I am safe.
What
and
can I?
Just like continue. And then I think too, you know, just getting really rooted in the why behind creating a family with, you know, in this new marriage and the excitement around that and with your current child, and, you know, like just kind of just seeing it all, how it can all fit together, and making sure for you, there's no guilt or, you know, anything like that. Like just working through those pieces where you're just ready to receive and
that's the hard part.
Take care. What is. But you know, it's all lining up for you. I would say that, you know, and to look at it like that, and like you've already made, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of girls that are floored, like your FSH went from 27 to 17 with just doing acupuncture. That's amazing. You know what I mean? So like, to just try to ride that momentum too. And you know, that trusting if there's a desire for a baby, then there's a baby who wants to come through, and see how this cycle goes. I would, you know, hopefully it goes the way you want it to, but also if not, then maybe you do put a hold on the fertility treatments and just go back like the natural route for like 6 months, and you know what I mean, and see how that goes, because there's interesting research to show too that like women with the same age, women with different fertility numbers, like so higher FSH or lower AMH, in 1 year's time they have the same pregnancy outcomes, so that the numbers don't matter and the age doesn't matter so much. Like they're still getting pregnant at the same rate. So to think about that too, of like to not get too caught on the hamster wheel of like, I have to do this, where's the good embryo, you know, that kind of thing, and more in the space of supporting your body and understanding it's wise, and it knows what to do, it knows how to do this, and you've done it before. I mean, you did IVF last time too, so that could be part of the story of like, oh, I need IVF to get pregnant.
That is definitely part of my story.
And so just check it. It's not a bad thing or a good thing, but it doesn't have to be, you know, like, does it have to be my story? I'm not sure, you know. So just kind of, I would just say to like, you be open to the possibility of it going, there could be a couple different ways to get to this baby.
Yeah. And I think the hardest thing, and I don't know if anyone else has heard this, but when my first doctor, when I had those numbers and I was like, well, what happens if my FSH improves? He goes, we only take the highest number.
Yeah, I know.
And I was
You're only as good as your highest FSH. That's what he used to say.
Yeah,
you're only as good as your highest FSH. And it's just like, okay, go.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be finding somebody else. Yeah.
And that's it too. Like you need a team who believes in you. you need to believe in you, and just, just show up and say, okay, I'm going to try this with this doctor. We're going to see how it goes. I have this other, this other team. Like, I have my acupuncturist, I have my herbs, I have the diet, I have all these things. I know it's about quality, not quantity, and so to just kind of just keep remembering that about yourself, and just, that this is your time, and you're allowed to grow this family now. You're allowed to be happy and have everything you want.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I'm going to end that there. That's our 15 minutes. But so message me. We'll send you the sperm health video, and then also the I Am Safe meditation. Okay.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Okay. Thank you.
Good luck, and keep us posted. Okay.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. I'm going to stay on, and I see some questions. Besides protein, have heard fiber is important. Do you recommend fiber daily? Yeah, if you're eating, honestly, if you're eating enough leafy green vegetables and some fruit, you're fine on the fiber front. Sometimes I'll cut back grains depending on the patient. And so then we do have to be really conscious of the fiber-rich foods, right? But typically, yes. It's the same thing too. If you're hitting your 80 grams of protein a day, you're going to get the amount of fat you need, and you're going to get, the amino acid profile you need. So to just think about, like, again, going back to nature is smart. So, but if you want to create a human life, it really is about protein, fat. That's what structures are made of. That's what you want. You want that, the outer egg, that shell of that egg is fat. It's a phospholipid bilayer. You want to improve the quality of your eggs, you gotta eat fat. You need a lot of fat and a lot of protein, good quality fats. And then you need the antioxidants from those vegetables. So to just think about it like that. Amy's always so real. You're sweet. Number times I want to give a finger to my dog. How often to do castor oil packs? So it depends. If you're trying to conceive, I only do them in the follicular phase. If you're not trying to actively conceive, you could do them all month long. It's all clearly laid out in my blog post or my video on castor oil. Just Google Aimee Raupp and castor oil, or DM us and we'll send it to you. You're recommended eating first 20 minutes of the day. I think Synthroid, okay to eat after the first hour. Yeah, just try to eat that first hour. Some people, if like you wake up at like 4 a.m. to pee, take your Synthroid then. And then when you wake up in the morning, you can just go about your day and eat. But yeah, and my doctor, I took Synthroid in my pregnancy. And I worked with a functional endocrinologist during that time. And she said 45 minutes was perfectly fine. So that's how I did it. Because if I went the hour, I felt like shit. So every day in the follicular phase, you can do every day in the follicular phase if you got it in you to do those castor oil packs, or you could just massage castor oil over your lower abdomen regularly. That helps too. Sometimes I just do that. I have it on my nightstand, and sometimes I'll just massage it in. You guys are sweet. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions in the beginning. Let's see. Oh, my skin looks amazing. You're sweet. Thank you. I used my sugar scrub this morning. I had a live with Hannah Bronfman before, so I had to look fabulous. No, I'm kidding. Can FS-based, you asked this one. My period sounds similar. Would love to hear more. Okay. And then, is there evidence acupuncture assists? I spent thousands and really did nothing for me. Still miscarried, felt stressed rather than relaxed. No, well, I'm sorry about that. There is evidence. There's actually a lot of scientific data that shows acupuncture helps uterine blood flow, ovarian blood flow. They do measure with a Doppler. It helps ovulation induction. And then in particular, women undergoing IVF treatments, it almost increases success rates by 40%. So, and those studies have been repeated. So yeah, it's valid science. You might not have had the right practitioner, or I don't know, I think too, though, sometimes patients don't have the best feeling during the treatment, or like if it's in my New York City office and there's like sirens going off and it's not super relaxing, I always say to them, you might not feel awesome, but the acupuncture still worked. Like, you don't have to have this Zen feeling after acupuncture for it to work or not. But if you still miscarried, the one thing I'd really urge anybody who's had more than one miscarriage, this book right here, my third book, Body Belief, is all about autoimmunity. It sounds like there might be some of that going on. So that's where I would go. Okay, let's see. Do I like maca in general? It depends on the case. How about that? But I do. I don't dislike it. It just really depends on the case. I love what you said about switching doctors. Oh, always love your mental, spiritual recommendations. Well, I get to be so grounded and present because I have best friends like you, Miss Ariel. I love it. It's helped me release. Thank you. Oh, the video series. Yeah. So if anybody is wanting to do more for egg quality, jump into my free video series that's happening right now. AimeenRaupp.com/egg course, EGGCOURSE, or just there's links in my bio and all the things. Just message us. It's only running for a couple more days. There's 5 videos. It's like 3 hours, 4 hours of content. You get a 35-page PDF. You get a free live Q&A with me happening on Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. I think Eastern time. It will be recorded. So even if you can't make that live Q&A, get on the list, sign up for the course so you get the replay sent to you. It's really valuable information. Again, I've been at this 17 years. I've written the books on what to do to optimize health and fertility, help thousands of women. And I really do have confidence in what I say and recommend. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Let me just make sure I covered all the questions. Okay. How can we explain AMH 0.8 for the last 2 years just turned to become 1.9? Again, you've improved ovarian health is basically what I would say. So you've reduced inflammation in your body. Maybe you've done acupuncture or castor oil packs. None of these numbers are set in stone. They're not, they change all the time. And that's the biggest thing to know about these numbers. Do not let them define you because they change all the time. Is there a difference between Chinese herbs and Korean herb supplements? It really depends on the herbs we're using. So most of my Chinese herbs come from Korea. So that's, I don't know if that's the answer. I was pregnant last year, had a miscarriage at month 5. I'm sorry, babe. I had fibroids that may have contributed. My water broke at 5 months. Yeah, that sucks. You know, I would make sure you have a complete thyroid panel, vitamin D checked, you know, work with the right doctors the next time you're pregnant and just let them put you in a high risk category so they can do whatever they can to prevent that loss happening again. Check out, work with a hematologist, make sure you don't have any clotting factors. I go over a lot of this in my book, Body Belief too. And in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. So you can check that there. Oh, yeah, a lot of trauma. Enjoying the egg course, putting the fertility diet in practice. My left fallopian tube is blocked. Is there still a chance with the right tube? Absolutely. I've worked with plenty of girls that only have 1 tube or 1 ovary, and it's worked out. And not needing IVF. I mean, you can do IVF too, but and castor oil packs. So I think, what can I do to prepare? Again, check out the egg course because that is the best way to prepare your body for conception. Check out everything I have written in my book, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. And, you know I have YouTube videos on like preparing mentally for fertility. And that's kind of where I would go to, of like letting your body heal and grieve and process, because it's tough. Any loss is tough. And a loss could be the fact that you just aren't getting pregnant on your journey too. So remember that. Had my thyroid and vitamin D checked. Everything seems fine. Okay, good. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up. Please, please, please check out the egg course, AimeenRaupp.com/egg course. It's again free, and it's the 7 ways to improve the quality of your eggs. And I do recommend things that are a little outside the box that you aren't going to be reading about in the most popular books or following, you know, some of the other fertility experts. So check it out. And then if you can, join me on the live Q&A on Wednesday, and I'll answer your questions. We have like over 2,000 signups for this course. There's going to be a lot of questions, so get in there, get your questions in, and hopefully I can get to everybody's questions. I think at some point we're going to have to stop taking questions for the Q&A, but yeah, guys, thank you so much. And I'll do this again in 2 weeks. And so whoever wants to come live with me in 2 weeks, set a reminder, be here, 2 p.m. Eastern time on Monday in 2 weeks, okay? All right, I love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.